Welcome back to Mic Drop Academy podcast. The podcast teaches you how to podcast, which still sounds slightly illegal somehow. Like teaching a cooking class by eating frozen waffles over the sink. We're figuring it out together. Today's episode is huge because we finally got a real guest. An actual human being willingly entered the chaos, which is shocking because apparently sending 11 emails that basically say, hey, teenagers with microphones want to talk to you, does not inspire confidence in people. 10 people said no. One person, Jordan, said yes immediately. Honestly, that either means Jordan is incredibly brave or did not fully read the email. Now, Jordan hosts a podcast called Plot Twist, where every episode tells the story of a teenager whose life took some completely unexpected turn and somehow became something amazing. Which is incredible and inspiring, and also a little annoying because now our podcast sounds underprepared by comparison. And today, we're talking about interviews. Because interviewing sounds easy until you actually try it. Then, suddenly your brain turns into scrambled eggs wearing headphones. You ask terrible questions like, so, tell me about yourself, which is not a question. That's a hostage situation. Or you panic and ask yes or no questions. Did you enjoy podcasting? Yes. Cool. That's not an interview. That's two people waiting for a bus in silence. And then there's nervous laughing, which apparently I do. According to my co-hosts, I laugh like a lawnmower trying to start in cold weather. Rude. Accurate, but rude. So in this episode, Jordan teaches us the secret sauce: open questions, follow questions, and pivot questions, which honestly sounds less like podcast advice and more like karate moves. We also discover that silence is powerful in interviews, which is terrible news for people like me, who fill every silence with the word actually. Apparently, I said actually 47 times in one episode. 47. That's not a verbal habit anymore. That's a subscription service. And later, because this show believes in public embarrassment as a teaching method, we demonstrate the worst interview ever recorded. There are awkward pauses, creepy over-researching, emotional damage, and at one point, I'm pretty sure we accidentally invent a true crime podcast. But underneath all the jokes, this episode ended up becoming something way bigger than podcasting. Because good interviews aren't really about microphones or downloads or sounding impressive. They're about paying attention, about asking someone a real question, and actually staying long enough to hear the answer. Okay, let's listen. Here is episode 2 of Mic Drop Academy's podcast.
All right. Settle down, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Is this thing on? 1, 2, testing.
Maya, we're literally in a soundproof studio, and you're wearing headphones. I'm pretty sure this thing is in fact on. Can we get to the snacks yet? My stomach is doing a dramatic narrative podcast right now.
He's not wrong about the dramatic narrative. I can hear it from here, Darius. But Maya's enthusiasm is exactly what we need for our second episode of Mic Drop Academy.
Yes, thank you, Zara, and welcome everyone tuning in to Mic Drop Academy. I'm Maya, your enthusiastic host, and beside me are my brilliant co-hosts, Zara, our resident research guru.
Hey everyone, glad to be here.
And Darius, our very authentic co-host.
Academy D, authentically hungry. Yes, and slightly confused why we're doing a podcast about making podcasts. Isn't that a bit meta? Like a podcast eating its own tail?
Exactly. It's meta, it's brilliant, and it's going to help so many of you out there who've thought, hey, I've got something to say. But how do I actually say it into a microphone for the world to hear?
That's right. Today, we're kicking off with a full guide to getting your voice out there. We're covering everything from finding your podcast style to hitting record on your very first episode.
And I'm here to represent everyone who thinks podcasting sounds like too much work, too expensive, or just for adults who talk about stocks, or true crime. Definitely true crime.
Ha ha, Darius, you're precisely why we need this show. So, let's dive right into our first segment, the podcast zoo. We have a special guest with us today, Jordan. Jordan is a 17-year-old and has had his own podcast for about 2 years. You've done the deep dive into the wild world of audio, Jordan. What kind of creatures are lurking out there?
Oh, it's a vibrant ecosystem, Maya. When you think podcast, you might just imagine two people chatting, but there's so much more. The biggest categories typically are interview podcasts, where you bring on guests to chat.
Like us, right now. We're interviewing ourselves? Or is Maya interviewing my hunger pangs?
You're making a strong case for a Darius Eats podcast, honestly. But yes, this is a conversational style which is a cousin to the interview format.
What else, Zara?
Then you have narrative podcasts, which are storytelling at its best. Think true crime, historical documentaries, or even fictional dramas, all told through sound. They're often highly produced.
Oh, so like The Case of the Missing Bag of Chips is a chilling tale of snack abduction.
See? Darius is already brainstorming. What about educational podcasts? Those are huge.
Absolutely. Educational podcasts teach you something new. They could be about science, history, learning a language, or, how to start your own podcast. They often feature experts or deep dives into specific topics.
So, we're doing an educational podcast. Got it. And a comedy podcast, inadvertently, thanks to my witty banter.
100%, Darius. Comedy podcasts are all about making people laugh, whether it's through stand-up, improv, funny conversations, or even parody. And finally, motivational podcasts, those inspiring ones that pump you up.
Motivational podcasts are all about personal growth, positive thinking, setting goals, and overcoming challenges. They often share personal stories and advice to uplift listeners.
So if I did a podcast about how to find the motivation to get off the couch and walk to the fridge, would that count? Asking for a friend.
Darius, your friend is definitely going to benefit from this episode. So think about what kind of podcast you want to create. Do you want to interview local artists, tell stories about your town, teach people how to code, make your friends laugh with crazy antics, inspire others to join a cause?
It's all about finding the format that best suits your message and your personality. And remember, you can totally blend these styles too.
Exactly. Okay, so you've got a rough idea of the kind of podcast beast you want to wrangle. Now, before you even think about hitting record, we need to talk about the why. This is our segment called Before You Hit Record.
The why? My why for anything is usually because I'm hungry or because I'm bored. Are those valid podcasting whys?
They actually can be, Darius, believe it or not. If you're bored and you want to talk about something you're passionate about, that's a great why. But seriously, understanding your motivation is crucial for staying committed.
It really is. Your why is your North Star. Is it to share knowledge, to connect with others, to build a community around a niche interest, to simply have fun and express yourself? Once you know your why, it's easier to stay on track when things get tough.
So, my why could be to review every chip flavor on Earth? I mean, someone has to do it. It's important work.
That's a perfectly valid why for a review podcast, Darius. And speaking of staying on track, this brings us to what I like to call the triple C of podcasting: concept, commitment, and consistency.
Ooh, I love a good alliteration. Tell us more, Zara.
First, concept. This is your specific idea. Beyond just, I want to talk about video games, narrow it down. I want to review indie games that nobody's ever heard of, or I want to interview people who make fan art for my favorite anime. The more specific your concept, the easier it is to find your audience.
So, every chip, every week. A deep dive into the salty, crunchy world of snacks. Specific enough?
Perfectly specific, Darius. What's the second C?
Commitment. Podcasting isn't a one-and-done thing. It requires dedication. Are you willing to set aside time each week or month to plan, record, and edit? It doesn't have to be a huge chunk of time, but you do need to be realistic about what you can give.
Commitment, huh? That sounds like actual work. Is there a podcast about outsourcing your podcast commitment?
Ha ha, maybe eventually. But for now, it's about finding that passion that makes the commitment feel less like a chore and more like something you want to do.
And the final C is consistency. Once you launch, your listeners will expect new episodes. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, try to stick to a schedule. It builds trust with your audience and keeps them coming back.
So, if I said every chip, every week, I actually have to deliver a new chip review every single week? Even if I find an obscure Korean seaweed chip that requires a 2-week research expedition?
Well, you could adjust your schedule to every other week if the research is that intense. The point is to set a reasonable expectation and then meet it.
Exactly. Planning ahead helps immensely with consistency. Batching recordings, having a few episodes in the can, these are all strategies for busy podcasters, especially busy teens.
All right. Concept, commitment, consistency. Got it. Now, about the gear. I saw some microphones online that look like they cost more than my entire gaming setup. Do I need to sell a kidney to sound good?
Excellent segue, Darius. That brings us to the gear talk. And the short answer is absolutely not. Zara, enlighten our budget-conscious listeners.
Yeah, that's a huge myth we need to bust. You do not need to spend a fortune to start podcasting. Seriously, the device you're probably listening on right now, it has a microphone. Your phone.
Wait, really? My phone? So, my fancy new gaming headset with the built-in mic that I use to trash talk my opponents is actually podcast ready? Darius? Absolutely, Darius. Earbuds with an inline mic, your phone, a gaming headset, these are all perfectly good starting points. The key is to reduce background noise, which we'll get to.
If you want to upgrade slightly, you can get a basic USB microphone. Brands like Blue Yeti or Samson Q2U are popular and relatively affordable, usually under $100. They plug directly into your computer and give you much better sound quality than your built-in laptop mic.
Under $100. Okay, that's less kidney selling territory. That's more save up birthday money territory. I can work with that.
Exactly. And for editing software, you don't need expensive professional tools. There are tons of free options.
Yep. Audacity is a classic, free, open-source audio editor for Windows, Mac, and Linux. GarageBand comes free with Apple devices and is surprisingly powerful. Even some online tools let you do basic editing right in your browser. The goal is just to cut out silences, maybe add an intro-outro, and level out the sound.
So, record with my phone, edit with free software. This is starting to sound suspiciously easy. Too easy, even. What's the catch?
The catch is just getting over that initial hurdle, Darius. The biggest barrier is often ourselves, thinking it has to be perfect or expensive. But really, it just needs to be authentic.
The most important piece of gear you have is your voice and what you have to say. The rest is just about making it sound reasonably clear.
My voice is clear, especially when I'm arguing with my sister. Maybe I should just record those arguments. Instant content.
Haha, maybe for a different kind of show. But that brings us perfectly to our next segment. And honestly, Zara, Darius, this is the one I'm most passionate about. The heart of it, why teen voices matter.
I'm with you, Maya. It's incredibly important. We live in a world where adult perspectives dominate so much of the media we consume. But teens have unique insights, experiences, and a way of seeing the world that no one else does.
Exactly. Think about it. Who better to talk about the pressures of school, navigating friendships, discovering your identity, dealing with social media, or even just what it's like to be a teenager right now than other teenagers? We're living it.
I guess, yeah. I mean, all the shows about teen life are usually made by people who haven't been teens in like 20 years, and they always get something wrong. Like nobody talks on the phone that long anymore. It's all DMs.
See? That's a perfect example, Darius. Those small, authentic details make all the difference. When you hear another teen sharing their thoughts, there's an immediate connection, a sense of, oh, someone gets it.
It builds community. It makes people feel less alone. And it provides perspectives that might actually challenge or inform adults, too. Our generation has so much to say about climate change, social justice, mental health, big issues that directly affect our future.
Yeah, I guess. I never really thought about it like that. I just thought it was another way for people to talk at you, you know? But if it's us talking, that's different.
It's about representation, Darius. Your voice, whatever your passion, whatever your experience, deserves to be heard. And podcasting makes that possible without needing a gatekeeper, without needing someone to approve your story.
It's empowering. You can create your own platform. You can share your art, your opinions, your humor, your struggles, your triumphs, and someone out there, maybe someone just like you, needs to hear it.
So, if I told my story about trying to find that rare Korean seaweed chip and the 2-week expedition involved and all the emotional turmoil, that could actually resonate with someone else out there who understands the struggle?
Absolutely, Darius, because it's not just about the chip. It's about the journey, the pursuit of something, the unexpected challenges, the little victories. That's universal.
Exactly. Your unique lens on the world is your superpower. Don't underestimate the power of your authentic voice.
Huh. My superpower, huh? I like the sound of that. Okay, you're actually getting to me. This whole podcasting thing might actually be cool.
Yes, Darius is convinced. My work here is done. But not really, because now that you're inspired, let's get practical. It's time for our final segment, your first episode checklist. Zara, hit us with the actionable steps.
All right, everyone, grab a pen or open your notes app. Here are 9 steps to get your first episode launched. Number 1, pick your niche or concept. We talked about this. What's your show about? Be specific, write it down.
So, every chip, every week is step 1 for me. Got it. Or maybe the Darius Diaries, a culinary odyssey. Still working on the title.
Love it. What's next, Zara?
Number 2, name your podcast. Make it catchy, memorable, and relevant to your concept. Check if the name is available on social media and podcast platforms.
Okay, that's crucial. I don't want to accidentally name my show after some famous chip critic. That would be awkward.
Good point. 3.
Number 3, outline your first episode. Don't just wing it. Write down your talking points, questions for guests if you have them, a rough intro, and an outro. It doesn't have to be a script, just a guide.
So, intro. Hi, I'm Darius. Today, potato chips. Outro. See ya. Is that enough outline?
A little more detail, maybe? Like, today we're trying the zesty lime-flavored chips and comparing them to classic salt and vinegar. Give your listeners something to look forward to.
Exactly. Number 4, choose your tech. We covered this. Phone, earbuds, gaming headset, or a basic USB mic. Whatever you have is probably enough to start.
My phone it is. I'm already ahead of the game. See, Maya? I told you this wasn't that hard.
You're a natural, Darius. What's next?
Number 5, find a quiet recording space. This is key. A closet full of clothes is actually fantastic for absorbing sound. Under a blanket fort. A quiet room when no one else is home. Minimize echoes and background noise as much as possible.
So, not while my sister is watching TikToks at full volume? Got it. My blanket fort it is. For the record, I call it my sound-dampened snack chamber.
Haha, I love that. Number 6, practice audio emoting. This means using your voice to convey emotion, even without facial expressions. Vary your tone, pace, and volume. Smile when you talk, even if no one sees it, it really comes through.
Audio emoting? So instead of just saying, this chip is good, I should say, this chip, savoring sound, is good. I can do that.
Your snack reviews are about to become legendary. What's number 7?
Number 7, record it. Just do it. Don't aim for perfection on your first try. It's okay if there are stumbles or awkward pauses. You can edit those out.
So, I just hit the record button, and then I talk? That's it?
That's it. And then you get to number 8.
Number 8, basic editing. Trim the beginning and end. Cut out any major mistakes, long silences, or background noise. You just want it to flow smoothly. Use those free tools we talked about.
So, I can cut out the part where I coughed violently from a chip crumb? Or the part where I accidentally dropped the entire bag?
Absolutely. That's what editing is for. And finally, number 9, the big one.
Number 9, pick a hosting platform. This is where your audio files live online, so people can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. There are free options like Anchor.fm, now Spotify for podcasters, that make it super easy to upload and distribute your show everywhere.
So, I just upload it to Anchor, and then it's on Spotify? That's actually pretty cool. My chip reviews on Spotify. Whoa.
Exactly. It really is that straightforward, Darius. And there you have it, your 9-step checklist to launch your very first podcast episode.
From understanding the different types of podcasts, to the essential triple C, to realizing you don't need fancy gear, and then those actionable steps, we've given you a solid foundation.
And I might actually try this. You guys really pulled me in with the Your Voice Matters thing, and the free editing software, and the snack chamber idea. It's a combo.
And that's really what Mic Drop Academy is all about. We want to empower you, inspire you, and give you the tools to share whatever it is that makes you, well, you.
We truly believe that the world needs to hear more teen voices. Your perspectives are valuable, your stories are compelling, and your ideas can spark real change.
So, if you've been on the fence, we hope this episode gave you the push you needed. Start small, be authentic, and just hit record. We can't wait to hear what you create.
Yeah, And if you happen to start a chip review podcast, let me know. I need a competitor. Or maybe a co-host for my Darius Diaries, A Culinary Odyssey. Just putting it out there.
Haha, fantastic, Darius. We'll be back next time with more tips and tricks for Mic Drop Academy. I'm Zara.
I'm Darius.
And I'm Maya. Now go on, make some noise. Mic drop.